I drummed my fingers over the counter, looking around impatiently. The temple wasn't busy at this time of day, just before dawn, but that did not prevent the clerk processing my paperwork from taking her sweet time. If anything, the lack of cue made her as slow as a snail. "And it says here you don't require heirs?" she asked, frowning at my application form. It was another point she wasn't happy about, and I cursed myself for being honest. I should have just filled it out the way Grish told me to. Tell them I craved female company, babies, and a wife to fill my home with the smell of roast hog and cake. A woman who would sit by the fireplace and knit me socks in the evenings. I kept back a snort. Hard pass. "Correct. I don't need heirs." "That is unusual," she said, glancing up, "because you put in procreation as your goal for the union, and procreation usually results in children." "I am aware," I said, clenching my teeth to keep my irate voice low. "But other alternatives listed on the form do not interest me." "Really?" The clerk looked up, hiking a golden bracelet higher up her arm. "You are not interested in companionship? In having your hearth and home kept? In fathering offspring? What is it you are interested in, then?" "Intercourse," I said, deciding the best way to be done with the idiotic bureaucracy was to give her direct answers. She blinked up at me, her brown eyes disapproving. With a mane of silver hair falling down her back, the clerk, or priestess as they were officially called, was clearly a female of age. Elders were supposed to be wise. I wondered why it took her so long to comprehend what I said so clearly. "I require a female for my bed," I said, hoping that would finally make her understand. "That is all I will ask of her. Infrequently, only when it's needed. It won't be a burden, otherwise she will be free to do as she pleases, as long as she doesn't disturb me." The priestess shook her head with an exasperated sigh and stood up from the ornamental desk. Even standing, her head barely reached my sternum, and I cocked a small smirk. She was likely about to give me a lecture, and I would tower over her throughout. "Mr. Lundark, a wife is not a prostitute," she said calmly, though her nostrils flared. "I am aware of the difference. A prostitute is paid each time she provides a service. A wife acquired through the temple only costs a one-time payment," I said, folding my arms, a reluctant pleasure filling my chest. I rarely talked to people, and to humans not at all, but occasionally I indulged in a little verbal debate. This seemed like the perfect occasion.